All right, today we're going to look at lesson 6. We're talking about graphing in all 4 quadrants. Now, I know that you guys have talked about graphing ordered pairs before, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Have you talked about graphing them in all 4 quadrants, not just the positive?
Yeah.
Yes. Most of us? Or all of us? Okay. So, let's just talk about a couple things real quick. On your worksheet, you can write some of this on your worksheet if you want. I'm going to write it out to the side. What is it called? The point where the 2 axes intersect. Okay, so if you want to write that somewhere on your paper, you can. Can anyone tell me, raise your hand, which one is the x-axis and which one is the y-axis? Chastity?
The x-axis is the horizontal.
Very good.
And then the y-axis is the vertical.
Okay, x-axis is horizontal, y-axis is the vertical. All right, can somebody else raise your hand and tell me when I write an ordered pair, what order they go in? Cutter?
X and then y.
Do you have to write those in parentheses?
Yes.
Do they have to be separated by a comma? Yes. If you do not write them in parentheses, is it an ordered pair?
No.
No. Okay, everyone should be with me on this front page. You can see it on the screen. That's the side I want you on. Okay? All right, so when we talk about graphing an ordered pair, the x value is always first. Where will you always start to graph an ordered pair? We just talked about it, at the origin, right? You will always start at the origin. You will move left or right, depending on if it's positive or negative, and then up or down, depending on if it's positive or negative, okay? So we're going to go through some of these together. Part number 1, sorry, I should have written number 1. Number 1 asks you to name what is point A. Can anyone raise your hand and tell me what the ordered pair for A would be? It's right here. Deja.
-2, 2.
Good. -2, 2 is going to be your ordered pair, right? How did Deja know that? She started at the origin. She went left 2, which would be negative, and then up 2, which is positive. Is everybody with me on that? Okay. All right. Somebody else, we're going to do number 3, point C. Katie.
-4, 0.
Very good. Point C. Does everyone see that? You go left 4, so it's -4. Why would I put 0? Because it stays on the axis, which means the y value doesn't move, so that y value would be 0. Okay? All right. What about number 5, Abby? What did I say?
4, 2.
Is that point E? Sorry. Yes, 4, 2. Did I call you the wrong name?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I knew that as soon as I said it. All right. Number 7. Connor, point G.
2, -3.
Okay, so we'd start at the origin, go right 2, so positive 2, and then what'd you say?
-3.
Good, so down 3 to be -3. Okay, and then last one here is going to be point I. Jace, what about point I?
-7, 6.
Okay, how did you get to that point? Left to -7, up to +6. Very good. Okay, does anyone have questions on any of those?
No.
Does everybody feel okay about graphing those things?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to graph and label each point on a coordinate plane. All right, so we're going to look at numbers 11 through 19. I'm just going to zoom in. Can everybody see that okay? All right. Okay, we're going to do number 11. We're going to graph point K at 1, 0. Anybody want to try that one? Kai.
You go one to the right on the x-axis, and you don't go any up.
One to the right, put my point there, and what else do I need to put with that?
Okay.
Very good.
Kai.
Okay? Now, here's the next thing it says. It says graph and label the point. We did that. What does it say after that?
Name each, or name the quadrant in which each is located.
Okay? Does anyone know how to name the quadrants? It is 1, 2, 3, and 4, but they have to be used. What do you use? Roman numerals. Okay, so let's write this. You can write it at the top of your page. I'm going to put it over here on the right. You always start in the upper right corner. Which one would be quadrant 2? To the left. Somebody said to the left. Where's 3? Below it. And where's 4? Should be the last one. Okay? So, when I'm naming a quadrant, you always start in the top right corner. Okay? 2 is to the left, 3 is straight down, 4 is the last one. Okay? Did everybody write that somewhere on their paper?
So it's located at number 1, isn't it?
Okay? Now, let's look at the point we just did. Can anyone tell me what quadrant that point is located in?
1.
Do we agree or disagree?
1 and 4.
Can it be in 2 quadrants?
Yes.
No, it could just be on none.
You are correct, Kai. It is not in a quadrant. Ooh, sorry. Let me fix that.
So what do I put? It's on the x-axis. So what do we write?
Now look, notice how right next to the point, I put none. So if it's on the x-axis or the y-axis, it is not in a quadrant. It has to completely be inside in order to be in a quadrant. Okay? All right, who wants to try number 13? Jackson. -2, +4. How would I get there?
You go
Where do I start?
at the origin.
Okay, start at the origin.
You go 2 left,
2 left.
and then you go 4 after.
All right, put my point. What would I label that point?
M.
Okay, and then beside that, I'm going to put which quadrant, Jack?
2.
Very good. Would I write the number 2?
Nope.
No. If you write the number 2, are you going to miss that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you have to use a Roman numeral. Make sure you know that, okay? All right, who wants number 15? Point P. I'm looking for somebody that hasn't gone yet. Ruby? Can you tell me how I graph point P?
Start at the origin.
Okay,
You'll go 6 right
6 right
and 2 down.
and 2 down. What will I label that point? Okay, and then Ruby, what quadrant would you say point P is located in?
4.
Quadrant 4. Okay, Kimberly, you want to try number 17, point R?
It would be 4 to the left.
Are you on this one? Point R?
Yeah.
3 to the left, okay?
And 4 down.
Very good. What would I label that?
R.
And Kimberly, what quadrant would you say that's in? Very good. All right. Kyle, are you want to do it?
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. What about the last one? 3, 6. Start where?
Start at the origin.
Okay.
And you will go 3 to the right.
3 to the right.
And then 6 upward.
Very good. 6 up. What would I label it? And what quadrant, Kyle?
Second.
Did you write down the quadrants on your paper? Where do we always start? That top right one is which one? First. Listen, I'm going to zoom out in just a second, okay, so you can write that down. Okay, write those down. If you didn't write them down, you can even put it right next to your graph, you guys. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is get you started on number 21. You're really doing 21 on your own, okay? but I'm gonna at least get you started on it, sir.
Were we not supposed to do all the even numbers?
Don't you think that'll be part of your assignment?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Okay, Reese, will you read the directions for 21, please?
Make a table of values and graph 6 sets of ordered pairs for the equation y equals x minus 4. Describe the graph.
Okay, so does it give you a table? Yes. Do you think we can choose any x values that we want?
Yep.
Yes. Then we're going to solve for the y values. Now, look at your graph. Would it make sense for me to choose an x value of -8?
No.
Why, Chastity?
Because it's not on
Because it's not on the, what's that called?
the graph.
Yeah, it's not on the graph, right? It's not on that coordinate plane. What do your x values go from?
X goes to 4.
And on the other side,
Negative.
-4. So doesn't it make sense that we would choose x values between -4 and +4?
Yeah.
Okay? Should you just choose them in order? I probably would. I would start with -2, then do -1. What would you do after that?
0,
0,
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, and 3. Okay? Now, can anyone tell me how I could solve for the y value and then know that ordered pair?
Do -2 minus 4.
How did you know that, Noah?
Because it says y is equal to x minus 4 and x is -2. So it's right on.
Right, use the equation, okay? So the first x value I chose was -2. So using substitution, we substitute -2 for x. What y value would that give me? What's -2 minus 4? -6, very good. Okay? Ooh, sorry, I forget every time I zoom in.
Oh, shit.
You still want to put parentheses
Okay.
and even notes in the
Now, hold on. So, I got the y value for that. What would I write right next to it? -2, -6. I'm going to write my ordered pair. Can I go ahead and graph that ordered pair? Yes. Who have I not picked on yet today? Isaiah? Tell me how to graph that point.
Go left 2,
Okay, left 2,
and then down 6.
down 6. Now, do I need to label that one?
We should.
What are you going to label it?
A.
Does it tell you that it's point A? No, then we don't need to label it, okay? Unless it tells you that, you don't need to label, okay? Now, how are you going to find those other 5 points?
The exact same way we found them.
The exact same way that I just did the other ones, okay? All right, here's the deal, you guys. You're going to do, on this page, you're doing 2 through 20 evens, which obviously is the ones I didn't do with you, and then 21. And then on the back page, you're doing all problems, which is just 6, okay?